I care about is other people's approval.
Should we edit this part out?
No, it's good. It's like therapy. Obviously, my charts are, I'm trying more or less trying to get the biggest base as possible of people who like the things that I do, who find things relatable. So what would you say yours, like what's your drive?
I think my drive is creating my own understanding. Like, these are exercises that I am using to process something in real time.
Gotcha.
I'm sitting down to draw out a real problem I'm having.
Yeah.
So it is therapy for me.
When I worked at Playboy, they told us that the best things to do content on are people's anxieties and their fears. What are people worried about during the day? What are people scared of during the day? That those are the things that you should focus on. And I kind of take that to heart, I guess.
Like what?
Everybody's like anxious about sex because they're like, it's like kind of taboo of like, I don't know, am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right?
And do you like come up with an idea and then just draw it and then post it all within a short amount of time?
Sometimes I do. I have like a document on my phone that it's like your voice memos that is just a giant list of, I have different notes for the different types of charts that I think of. Because I think of type first and then I think of type first and then, okay, what it's about after that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it's a Venn diagram, put it in the Venn diagram section. But I have probably like 500 ideas.
I find that the best content though is when I'm so moved by something that I have to draw it right that second and post it right that second. Right.
Yes. I honestly, as I was saying, I have this giant list of things that I never use because it's not as fun.
Yeah.
Even if you sit down and you're like, I want to think of something to do today, that's way more fun than looking back on something that you've already thought of and being like, okay, this will be easy. You remember that little day where the black hole was a thing? I posted a chart, a Venn diagram of the black hole versus my ex-girlfriend. And in this ex-girlfriend was not even a real person, but people hated that I was trashing on my ex-girlfriend. They were like, wow, I can't believe you said a real name. I was like, it's not a real name, it's just something I made up.
Yeah.
People struggle with that sometimes, of like they can't imagine that you just made something up. Like I had one on using your snooze. I'm like, I've never used a snooze in my life.
Yeah.
I just ruined it. But you can think of things that you don't actually do.
Well, I mean, you've done ones about smoking pot, and you don't smoke pot.
I've done a lot about smoking pot, but I haven't really smoked pot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you actively try to aggravate people?
So the one that I did that got people really enraged, I did one that was what we're really talking about when we're talking about home ownership in Portland.
Okay. Super specific.
It was really specific. Like, if your parents bought you a house, like, just don't say that you earned it yourself.
Right.
The thing I took away from that is we're all the hero of our own story.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've done yours by hand the whole time. You've never done any computer ones.
No.
You're in the Stone Age of charts.
Yeah, I am.
I was doing whiteboard, and so I would just like smudge it with my arm or something, an accident, and then that was never good.
I like with watercolor, like playing with different variables blending together.
Gradients and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Are there any concepts that you have struggled to draw?
I actually sent a chart to you recently of like it would be a line chart, but with one of the axes aren't time, I get really confused. I don't understand how things work. That goes.
Yeah,
I can only do time. Like I can only time this.
Oh wow! I found your kryptonite.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like rub it in your face and just like be using all these different variables.
Sometimes I have an idea that I'm like, okay, so that would be very interesting to try to visualize, and I know what the visualization is, but I just can't. I can't do it, and I can't make it funny.
Yeah,
I think that's the hard part. Of like, okay, what's the funny part of this?
I'm not worried if things are funny, but sometimes I start putting it on paper, and I realize that my thinking is flawed. This would need like layers. Like I almost want like transparent paper. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Because your chart with the awkwardness versus the number of people would be sort of what I'm talking about. Like that's that's a little confusing to me.
Yeah. But that's where you use your finger and you're like connecting the two.
Yeah, it's like a times table at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.